Yo, what's up, guys? Why Not Be Reckless, aka Why Not Be Cast. I'm one of the HCS commentators, and we have another HCS Weekly Report where today we're going to be talking about the SSG Snowdown, not Showdown, SSG Snowdown, their invited teams, and who their rosters are. It's been no secret. There's been tons of secrets going on, and we have no idea. There's been so much movement, so much roster mania. Well, now it's time to figure out who these rosters are, and I even have some proof to go with it. So let's take it one at a time. The easiest one is going to be Space Station Gaming. Not too long ago, Space Station Gaming announced that they were stealing away that Cloud9 roster. Bound, Eco, Penguin, Stellar, along with Coach Elamite as opposed to Coach Hoaxer going in. Going to be really exciting to see what they do. They literally got top 2 at every single event in Season 1, and now they expect to do the same thing while also making some amazing content. Watch out for Space Station Gaming. Obviously, they're the real deal. Another easy one is going to be Optic Gaming. Next up, there's been some questions, like people keep questioning whether Formal is going to be leaving Halo and going back to Call of Duty or some other game. I couldn't see a world where this happens. I think Optic come in with their full roster. I think, talking about back-to-back LAN champions, including the world champion. I think he's still one of the top players in the game. He's still one of the faces in the league. I don't see a world where Formal leaves in the beginning of Season 2. I say they come in with the full roster, and they're going to be the favorites going into Season 2, including the SSG Snowdown. They have too much coordination, too much firepower. They literally are the perfect team. I think there's going to be teams like SSG and other teams that give them a run for their money. But if you had to put your money down on a team, I think it's a safe bet going with Optic Gaming. Next up is going to be Sentinels. Now, bear with me a little bit. I have some crazy thoughts and conspiracies about Sentinels, and I have proof to back it up. A little bit of proof. So let's wait until the end of the video to talk about Sentinels. Instead, let's move down to Shopify Rebellion. Not too long ago, again, Shopify Rebellion dropping their entire roster besides Mental, and that led us to believe, well, are Shopify Rebellion staying in? Are they going to try to build a team around Mental? Well, this is one of the teams that haven't taken a break. And we got Ryan Brain and Carb May. At one point, they were running with McWin, and we thought maybe they could be signing under Native Red, or Native Black, or now maybe calling themselves Native White, according to Tiberius Oddly. Either way, it looks like that experiment didn't work out, and since then they've been rocking with Mental. And I want to give a team their flowers. Ryan Brain and Carb May. They're in the basketball industry. When I was playing, there was a saying where, and I think it doesn't translate exactly to esports, but I think there's something to be said about it, where some players get ready for the season, some players stay ready for the season. And although I will say, obviously, there's burnout and stuff that goes along with esports, I don't think it translates one for one when coming over to esports. I still think it's worth mentioning. Like, dude, Ryan Brain and Carmea, they have not stopped scrimming. Since they brought in Mental, they have not stopped scrimming. They're scrimming against secret teams, they're scrimming against complexities, the oxygens, and every roster, every team putting in that work, and they look damn good while doing it. In fact, I think, 2 days ago, literally 2 days ago, they scrimmed against the SSG roster and were pulling major wins. They were looking good against the SSG roster, who, again, got top 2 every single event last season. I want to make sure we give a shout out to these boys, and I believe they're going to be playing under Shopify Rebellion. Again, Mental, to my knowledge, still signed under that roster, and then bringing in Ryan Brain and Carmea. That's why I think that Shopify Rebellion roster is going to be going in, and again, they've been scrimming this entire time. Let's go to Oxygen. They already announced that Oxygen Esports isn't going to be at the event, so we're going to skip over that, and we're going to move on to Native Red. I don't believe there's a world where Native Red are going to be splitting up. I think they tried moving Manny over to E United and bringing in King Nick, who is a phenomenal player, and even that didn't work out. There's just some teams, there's just some players that just belong together, and honestly, this Native Red squad simply belongs together. They just play so well together. In case you guys don't know, 3rd place at the Halo World Championships. Absolutely insane. You're talking about a team that plays so fast, throws their opponents off guard with their constant pressure, but at the World Championships, they did something that we didn't expect them to do, and that was slow down. They came at you with a balanced attack. and they looked damn good while doing it. It was incredible watching their winners bracket run. We'll scroll down for it a little bit. Where not only were they able to take down Cloud9 in Game 5, but then afterwards go right at FaZe in a Game 5. And I've actually said that if they would have played against Optic Gaming on that same day, on that same Saturday, the high they were riding, I truly believe they could have been able to knock down Optic Gaming into elimination bracket because they were on fire. Forget the skill, forget the roster, just the momentum that was on their side was absolutely insane. And by the time it was all done, they finished 3rd place, the ultimate dark horse squad, showing that they were a top team in the league, and they've continued to play in 8s and different money matches. So they're one of the teams that have stayed ready. So they're definitely one of the teams that you need to watch out for because they keep that same energy that they had on land, despite them being a better land team than they are online. But they bring that to the Snowdown. Maybe they finish off top 3. Shoot, maybe top 2. And you know what? I'll never doubt Native Red. Maybe they pull off a win. Next up is going to be that FaZe, or the FaZe situation. And we talked about this a little bit. There's been questions about it, rumors about it for quite some time. And I get asked this like 4 to 8 times a day. Like, oh, is this team real? I've seen it all over Twitch. We saw the Reddit post. I actually put out a video not too long ago. If you haven't watched it, go onto the YouTube channel. I'll actually have it in the description down below if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitch, I don't know, shut up. Either way, new God Squad, Frosty, Snakebite, Royal 2, and Renegade. We talked about Renegade already being signed with FaZe. We talked about this team wanted to come together midway through Season 1, and the rumors are that they're going to be trying to go into the beginning of Season 2, and we're nicknaming them a new God Squad, even though I've done that before, and it's bitten me in the butt. If there is any teams that can go at the likes of SSG, that can go at the likes of Optic Gaming, it might just be this new FaZe roster. Next up, we're going to talk about complexity. And this is a weird one. Because if you remember before, complexity were rocking Cycle, Neuronical, Vetra, and Monster. And I've been trying to keep up with this team. They've been doing a lot of changes through scrims, and most recently, 3 days ago, they were caught scrimming against another team that's going to be competing during the qualifier. Another great team, Nemesis, Squale, Triton, and Straight Sick. Nemesis and Triton from Oxygen Esports, Squale, formerly of G1, and Straight Sick, formerly of G2. They're playing through the qualifier together. But it was Cycle and Vetra. And they cycled out Monster and then Neuronical, who seemed to be out a little bit earlier, for the duo Septify and Jazero, who were signed under Fnatic. So I've seen this. I mean, I'm assuming this duo is still signed in the complexity. They're scrimming. They're putting in the work. So I believe that they're still signed in the complexity, and I believe this duo Septify and Jazero is going to be playing under them. I don't know this for sure. Maybe complexity has a whole new roster that we don't know about. I honestly not sure. But what I can say is that Psycho and Vetra are 2 extremely annoying players. Like when you play, they poke and prod. They come at you with a very unorthodox play style, and they slay. And then you have Septify, who can also stuff the stat sheet as well. Septify puts in work. And then Jazero, who's kind of like that IGL, kind of the play call of the crew. I think this team could really work together. You're talking about 2 duos that work extremely well together. Now coming together, if they can find that right chemistry, that right mix, this complexity team can be very dangerous based on speed and based on them being able to win their gunfights. Watch out for this newly formed complexity roster if this ends up being them. This was their scrims against Triton, Straight Sick, Squale, and Nemesis, where they definitely held their own. And then finally, we're going to go back to Sentinels. So I'm going to be honest with you guys, that there's going to be a lot of conspiracy here. Just stay with me. I don't know. Stay with me. Okay, so if it's true that 3/4 of the Sentinels roster is going over to FaZe, who's to say that Lethal is leaving Sentinels? Maybe Lethal stays on Sentinels. So in the world where Lethal stays on Sentinels, you wonder, okay, well, who's the rest of the roster? Well, stay with me now. In a free-for-all recently, King Nick was spotted rocking the Sentinels emblem. Now, maybe he just likes to look at the emblem. That emblem looks good. Or maybe there was some kind of swap, sending some Sentinels players to FaZe and some FaZe players to Sentinels. It kind of makes sense. So why not have King Nick move over to Sentinels? I don't know. So in that case, maybe Lethal's on there. Maybe King Nick's on there. I don't know. But if King Nick's on there, I mean, is it too far-fetched to say his best friend Spartan couldn't be on Sentinels? So now we, again, formerly of FaZe, was Spartan and King Nick. Now going to Sentinels. So let's say we have King Nick, we have Spartan, and then Spartan's roommate, maybe Barcode. We haven't talked about Suspector, maybe a little bit of Suspector action. I'm pretty sure Suspector and Lethal have a good rapport. I don't think Lethal and Spartan have the best rapport in the world, so I don't know if that team would ever come together. But maybe Sentinels is some kind of mosh pit of like a Spartan, King Nick, maybe a Barcode, maybe like a Collect. I'll be honest, I have no idea what's going on with Sentinels, but those are some players I have on my radar. King Nick, Spartan, Lethal possibly, Barcode, and maybe like a Suspector or something. Those are 5 players I could see in a world being brought onto that Sentinels roster. I don't know for sure, but that's why I said save it for the end, because that was the one that I just couldn't find any intel, man. They are good at hiding their stuff. Either way, that was your HCS Weekly Report. I think it was a fun one. We now know who the 8 invited teams, or should I say 7 invited teams going into the SSG Snowdown are going to be. You also know your boy's going to be casting. Let's freaking go. And on top of that, we know, well, we think we know who the rosters are going in. Thank you so much for stopping by, guys. Really do appreciate it. This kind of content. Leave a like down below. Leave down in the comments what you want to see going forward and who you expect to be taking this tournament between these Titans, or what we be soon to be Titans. We don't even know who the damn rosters are. And on top of that, subscribe, follow me on Twitch, and all that good stuff. Thank you so much. Peace out.